everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here and thank you for coming back. Welcome to the channel if this is your first time here. My name is Shanita and I am so happy to see that it is February. We are all surviving or have survived January, and we are going to unlock some wonderful self love rituals today on our broadcast. And, excuse me, just before we get started, how many of you out there actually do self love or self care routines or rituals? If you do, put it in the comments below. Let me know what your favorite go to self care or self love ritual is. Now, the reason why I want us to talk about this today is because I feel like it's very timely. Now, many of you that have been to my channel know that I don't really get caught up in what's going on in the news, the latest news story or whatnot. And I'm going to continue that thing just a little bit with a little tweak. Now, the way I want to deviate and really incorporate this is there are a lot of people that I know in my circle of influence and people around me that are really feeling uneasy, very stressed. And when you have those feelings of uncertainty and doubt, it can really wreak havoc. So I want to make sure that I take this topic, self-love rituals, the science of compassion, and how it meets a soulful practice, and really weave in, what we're facing as a country, what many of us are facing in our personal lives that really has us on edge and unnerved, okay? So make sure you have something good to drink. You stay hydrated out there. And let's just take a deep breath together and release. I want us to ground ourselves today in what's going to be some good information that you can take with you and just really help you to incorporate this into your life. So let's get started. So really, when I first started with coaching, I really enjoyed the field so much because coming from a counseling and therapy background, I was always asking questions. Well, why this? Why that? But as a coach, I get to ask those questions of, but what if, or what could be? And I really enjoy being in that headspace. Now, when someone is coming to you, when you're a counselor, you're really helping somebody that's in a vulnerable state. And with coaching, you're not coming to us because you're in a vulnerable state. You are simply wanting the questions answered, how can I achieve this? So the mindset really is the key critical difference between counseling and coaching. And even though in today's world, we are just more bombarded with information like no other time before. Our anxieties, depression seems to be at an all-time high. That trend, I hope, goes down, but who knows what the future holds with that. These self-love and self-care practices are really key to maintaining emotional, spiritual, and physical well-being. And so today I want us to think about how, while a lot of the things I talk about are very spiritual and very what some people would call woo-woo, I want you to also know that a lot of the majority of everything I share with you guys is truly rooted in evidence-based and science and scientific practices. And so I want to take some time today to really help you make the connection with me, with science, and with spirituality, and how that trifecta can really help you to move forward in life. So let's think of it this way. I want you guys to think about love and compassion, but how it really links to, now here's a term, neuroplasticity. I don't know if you guys have ever heard this term before, but it's a wonderful term because it really talks about how the brain can be rewired, right? So if any of you have ever followed Abraham Hicks, you've heard Abraham say, a belief is just a thought that you think over and over and over. And if you give yourself 17 seconds with a thought, you begin to make that thought your dominant thought, which if you can maintain it past 17 seconds and another and another and another, it forms into a new belief, which really begins to shape your outside world. And when you keep doing that, once you practice that, and you become proficient at that, it really helps to rewire the brain from um, what the original thought you had into something new, what you changed it into. So helping to really support those neural pathways, helping to rewire the brain in a way that it serves you, as opposed to staying in a state of fear, uncertainty, or doubt. Because many of us know that the more you think something, where your attention goes, energy flows. So if you're flowing toward the more negative, the more fear-based side, you're really going to set yourself up to create that outside of you. Now, um, research is also coming out and showing, and I think this is research that came out in 2010, that compassion and self-love really help to lower the cortisol levels in our bodies. Now, I, for one, personally am excited to hear that, and it's helpful to know that this practice of self-compassion and self-love, I've been on this journey for quite a while, and I can tell the difference in myself. So, you're really helping to decrease those stress hormones, and you increase the oxytocin and the love, what some people call the love hormone. So it's that reversal of how you can help yourself physically um, to be much better. So let's try a simple exercise. So if you are someone that loves to do mantras, recite mantras, and affirmations, you really are doing a self-love practice, a self-love routine, ritual, whatever words you want to use. And you are helping yourself to create those healthier neural pathways in your brain. You're helping yourself to lower cortisol or stress levels, and you are helping yourself to increase the love hormone, the oxytocin. So just take a second right now, if you will. Just close your eyes and just think about a mantra that really helps to encourage you and to give you the best support in that moment. So let's just take this one. I love myself, and I am worthy of all love that comes to me. I love myself, and I am worthy of all love that comes to me. And in that moment, if you allow yourself to do that, however many times you feel is best for you, you can feel any chaotic energy that was there before begin to slow down. And you begin to get control over that chaotic energy that was there before you begin to recite your mantra. Now, this month in my monthly newsletter, I shared with people a mirror routine, a self-love mirror routine. And while for some people that may seem too, crazy, I hope that they take the time to do this, because what it is, you are actually training your brain. You are helping to rewire those neural pathways to be more relaxed, engaged, and um, your cognitions really increase. So when you are at work, you're more productive, you show up better, you're more supportive to the colleagues that you work with. And also, another thing, when you are on your job and you're not in a so supportive environment, these rituals, like the mirror ritual I was just talking about, it helps to anchor you and to ground you. Because if you're feeling like when I go into work, I'm going into a battlefield, you want to make sure that you are giving yourself as much grounding, loving energy as possible so that you are not as swayed by other people's energy and emotions or toxic behaviors. So these are really critical, supportive and grounding routines that you can do for yourself, excuse me, until you can find a job that really supports you, or find a job that is more beneficial to your emotional and mental well-being. Now, I use tea. I love tea a lot. It grounds me. I start out in the morning with my tea, and it just helps me to take the time to focus and center as I state my intention for the day and to just sit and be still. I like to see it as it's my way of getting these beautiful downloads, and I make sure that I'm present to receive them. And another self love ritual that I do is, you guys know that I'm all about the sound healing. Now, what I have want to share with you guys is sound healing, or sound, is one of the ways that the universe really responds to us. Sight, sound, scent. Let's see, I got notes. Sight, sound, color, symbol, and scent are just the main ways the universe responds, or how it responds. So when you're activating the gift of sound, whatever instrument you use, honestly, your voice, in my opinion, is your best and most powerful instrument. And when you are using your beautiful voice to speak into existence, or to speak affirmations, words of love that are specifically centered around you, you awaken the universe within you. You awaken the God force within you. And when you awaken that, you awaken this powerful ally, this powerful force that really helps to guide you and give you purpose, meaning, and help you in those moments that are just so crazy or chaotic. Now, my call for you would be to make this a daily habit. But if consistency would be an issue, I would rather you do it if you say, I would just make sure I'm intentional about doing it once a week. That's all. You get to pick the frequency. There's no right or wrong way to do this. Now, one thing I do want to share with you guys is that when you are doing these self-love rituals, it's more than just say, let me take a nice bath, or let me go bowling, or doing some fun activity. When I'm talking about self-love, I'm talking about creating a life, or creating a way of being that is not something you want to go escape to, but it's a part of your everyday routine. Now, here's an example of that. I am a huge fan of healthy boundaries. Now, I don't mean the kind of boundaries where you say no, 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 no to everything. I see boundaries as a bridge to. Now, again, for the sake of our time today, let's focus on toxic workplace behaviors. If you are in a situation where you work with, let's just say, um, complaining coworkers. They complain all the time. Their energy, they're like Debbie Downers, right? You want to make sure that you are doing grounding practices as often as possible. And it may even have to be throughout your day. And a grounding principle can be something as simple as what we did earlier today. You take a few moments, you close your eyes. I like to put my hand over my heart just to acknowledge my heart chakra. And you speak a mantra of whatever it is you're needing in that moment. Again, you're wanting to ground yourself into something solid, something supportive. I love sound healing. So if you don't have instruments like a simple wind chime, or some tinkle bells, or maybe even a Tibetan metal bowl, you can just go on YouTube and you can find any person doing sound healings, and you can do it for a minute. You can do it for however long that you have throughout your day, but making sure you are grounding yourself in healthy whole frequencies and vibrations. And that'll really help move stagnant energy up and out of your body. This is a practice that I love. This is a practice I enjoy doing for others. Now, when I'm able to work with clients and put the bowls on their bodies, I can truly see how the body begins to relax. It's like um, what do you call it? Like a massage for your nervous system, right? And I don't want to say it's instantaneous because I don't want to give false hope, but it's darn near close. So I just want to make sure that in these days and times where we have just crazy things bombarding us, latest breaking news, or this person sharing a news article about something that's crazy that's currently going on in our world, when you're feeling like, oh my God, what am I going to do? My life is falling apart. I feel out of control because these things are happening and there's no way I can stop it. I want you to remember that what you can control is you and how you ingest or not any of this stuff. One of the things that the pandemic helped to remind me of, when everything felt chaotic, when everything felt so uncertain and just dire, I told myself, remember who you are. Do not allow the news, do not allow negative people, do not allow mean spirited people to influence the way you see yourself. Do not allow that to influence the way you show up in this world. If you were a helpful, loving, beautiful soul before all this chaos broke out, remember that's who you are, and you can continue to be that individual. The only thing I want to add to that is make sure you are that for yourself first. So if you do meet any of that negative energy outside in the world, you can meet it not with fear. You can meet it not with hostility, but you can meet it as the loving, caring, and compassionate person that you are. We can't control the craziness that's going on, nor do many of us condone the craziness. But guess what? We can control us. We can set appropriate boundaries and say, I'm not listening to that crap. I'm not dealing with that. I refuse to see the negative in people until they show it to me. And if they show me that version of themselves, I am in control of me enough to say, I'm walking away from that. I am always in control of me. And I am worthy of making sure that I stay this beautiful, loving, compassionate person. And everything else will sort itself out. I hope that this helps. I want to make sure that you guys feel supported, that you feel seen and acknowledged, and know that we're all going through this big, crazy, inappropriate, just unnecessary thing together. But don't allow it to don't allow it to make you forget who you are. Remember your beauty. Do not allow it to change who you are at the core of you. And this goes back to what I said when we first started. You don't want your brain to be rewired to hate. You don't want your brain to be rewired to live in a constant state of fear. That's why these self-love rituals are so important, because they ground you into the reality of who you truly are. A loving, compassionate, generous, peaceful, but don't mistake it, warrior for justice, warrior for love. We can fight the good fight in our own way, just by remembering how amazing we are. And I hope that this helps. I hope that this gives you some sort of peace, some sort of joy, and allows you to lower those stress hormones and to increase those love hormones called oxytocin. Everything that I share with you guys really is rooted in science. It's rooted in evidence-based practices. And together, we're going to get through this. Together, we are going to reach out across the ponds, across the waters to our friends and let them know that, hey, we love them. this craziness doesn't change any of that. And I hope that doesn't change on their end towards us. It's a beautiful start to a February. We are going to share tips and tools to help get through this together. But we're not going to forget that this is all about making sure that our mental, spiritual, and physical well being remains a top priority to us. We've been through crazier things before, and guess what? We'll get through this, and we'll get through it with compassion for ourselves. All right, everyone, thank you for joining me. Thank you for everybody that's going to watch this on the replay. Just so you know, I love you, and I look forward to seeing you soon. May you be happy, may you be well, and may love always find its way to you. Love you guys. Bye.